The number one question I get asked by podcasters is, how do I grow my audience? Now, you've probably exhausted yourself with getting reviews, posting on social media, sharing your podcast in Facebook groups. And I want to share with you today a tactic that you probably haven't used. Now, before I get started, I want to share with you two things. Number one, I'm super grateful that you're here with me today. I really appreciate you spending time letting me get into your ears and share this information about podcasting with you. So I just wanted to say thank you. And because I love you so much, I've got a special gift for you at the end of this episode. So make sure you stick around. So growing our audience, it's very important to all of us. It doesn't matter if you've got 20 subscribers or 50,000 per episode. Everybody wants to continually grow their audience. One of my clients called me the other day and said, I'm getting 50,000 downloads per episode. How do I get more? So I just want to illustrate to you that I don't think that there's a big difference between somebody getting 20 and 50,000 episodes. We'll always feel like we want more. So let me paint a picture for you right now. Let's think of our podcast audience as a garden, okay? Now, I'm not a horticulturist or by any means an expert in gardens, but I do know that if I plant a bunch of seeds and water them, and once they start to grow, I plant more seeds and focus on those plants instead of the initial batch that I've planted, and I stop watering them, what happens? Well, those plants wither and die. Okay. And I think this is a good analogy for your podcast audience. Oftentimes we like to see the number go up, but what are you doing to nurture your existing audience? Now, the number one way to get a new listener is really word of mouth. Okay. And where are you going to get word of mouth from? You're going to get word of mouth from your raving fans that are part of your existing audience, okay? So I just want you to think about your audience as a garden. You're going to plant more seeds to get more listeners, but you need to nurture and water your existing audience. Okay, so the first thing I want to express to you is that you should instill some form of community into your existing audience. Give them a place to hang out. Can you do a Facebook group? Can you go on Clubhouse and do exclusive content there? What ways are you giving your audience the chance to be a part of your gang, a chance to be a part of your family? If you've listened to any of my other podcasts, human beings are programmed to want to be part of a tribe. If you're not part of the tribe, you're on your own, and you're probably in dire straits. You're probably not going to be able to eat, and you're going to not survive. So everybody's looking to be a part of communities. And you see this everywhere. You see this on Patreon. You see this in Facebook groups. You see this in masterminds and collectives. We want to be part of something. So I want you to ask yourself this. Are you giving your audience a place to hang out? Are you giving your audience a place to be a part of your podcasting community? I'm not talking about your new listeners, the new shiny listeners. I'm talking about your existing listeners. And this can be if you've got 5 downloads per episode or 10,000. I really want you to think about how you can enrich and nurture your existing audience, okay? Now, number 2, the best way you can nurture your audience is to ask them for feedback, okay? A lot of times podcasting, we're talking into a camera, we're talking into a microphone, and there's nobody on the other end. So it doesn't feel collaborative in any way. You're creating the content, you're planning the episode. Sometimes we're guessing what your audience even wants to hear. So give your audience a chance to give you feedback. Do they like interview episodes? Do they like your solo episodes? Do they want longer episodes? Do they want shorter episodes? Do they want daily episodes? This can be accomplished as easy as creating a free Google survey, using a Google form and just asking for feedback. And you can even let it be free form. Say, here's your chance to tell me everything you love about the podcast and what I should continue to do. And here's everything you should tell me about what you don't like about the podcast. And actually take that feedback and use it, because we forget sometimes that on the other end of this microphone right here is a pair of ears and a heart. And, we're doing this, or at least I am in my podcast. My podcast is all about giving my audience value. So if I have a guest that wants to be on my podcast and I can't figure out a way where they can enrich your lives, I say no. And if I don't have something that I can give to you that's actionable, I don't just turn on the mic to podcast just to podcast. I'm always thinking of you and how I can make your life easier. All right. Now, the third way is going to be to give some bonuses. All right. So if you're a part of a street team for a band where you're helping them promote their next concert, typically you'll get shipped some posters to put out in the world, and then they'll also send you a gift, a t-shirt, maybe an exclusive track from their new album. But what are you doing to give your existing audiences a bonus, right? What are you doing for them to reward them for being part of your community? I oftentimes feel like when we want more, we're not grateful for what we already have. And if you know anything about all the woo-woo, the secret, all that stuff out there, it's true. If you focus on what you're grateful for, what you have now, you will attract more, okay? And going back to the garden analogy, gardens and plants are all based on the soil, right? And your soil is really your gratitude for your audience, and you're investing in the soil, making sure that there's room and a good place to grow. So before you focus on going crazy, getting new listeners, think about how you could reward your listeners now, like right today. What can you do? Can you give them exclusive content? Can you run a contest? I use a software tool called KingSumo, and I run contests. Okay. And I will purchase a microphone or a pair of headphones or some really awesome gift to give to my audience. And it's an investment. It's something that I'm like, I have to pay for. But KingSumo allows me to set up a contest where you get rewarded by sharing my episode, going to my YouTube channel, subscribing to things. And you can set this up in a way where people can get, up to 15 entries per day by just simply, one, sending an email, subscribing to your Instagram channel, right? And so by giving them this bonus, they're incentivized to do something for me because there's a chance for them to win this awesome prize. So can you maybe put something in your budget to purchase a really cool new gadget or set of your favorite books or something to incentivize people to continue to share your podcast? I found that the number one way to get anything is to give other people what they want in the world. And I definitely think this can work for you. So think about how you can, it doesn't have to be a $1,000 computer. Maybe you can run a small batch of t-shirts and you can give, the top 10 listeners or top 10 engaged people in your audience a t-shirt. It can be as little as that, and it goes a long way. All right. It goes way beyond what a review on iTunes will do for you. It goes way beyond any Facebook group post you'll ever do. I promise you this. It will grow your reach because when somebody takes the time to email someone else and say, hey, you should check out this podcast, it goes a lot further than you telling people why they should listen to your podcast. So enrich your audience, nurture your audience. And I want to nurture my audience because you are one of my listeners, one of my community members, my gang, my podcast posse. I've got a gift that I want to give to you. So I've created a series of videos. It's a course that I call Successful Podcast Mindset. Okay. It's a series of about 15 videos. They vary in range, but I go through the topics of what can keep your mindset going strong. Things that you need, maybe a video you need to watch on the day that you're not feeling energetic about podcasting or you're thinking about quitting. And I want to give this to you for free. Okay. So all you have to do is go to podcastbuilderclub.com, click on Successful Podcast Mindset and put in the coupon code gratitude. and it will take 100% off of the charge for that course, because I want you to have this. I want you to have a successful podcasting mindset. I want you to have a tool in your hip pocket when you're feeling down and you need somebody to come in and pump you up. I want you to have this at all times. So make sure you go download it today. Again, I'm super grateful that you're here with me. It's very important for me to nurture my audience. So this is a gift that I want to give to you. And with that being said, my challenge to you is to figure out one of these things you can do. Can you ask for feedback? Can you set up a Google form and ask your existing audience, hey, how can I make this podcast better for you? Because the podcast is for your audience. It's not for us, right? How can you instill some form of community? Can you start your own Facebook group? Can you start a Patreon where people can give you $1? Okay? Or set up a free way where you can give people an additional piece of content for just going somewhere else, right? A reward for being a part of your audience. And then third, can you give some bonuses? Can you figure out something that you can give away, run a giveaway, have a contest, reward your top engaged people in your audience? I've got a Facebook group called the Podcast Builder Club, and every single month, the number one contributor to that group is going to win a prize. And it's very important for me for the community to engage, because it's not about just me posting in that group. It's about the community sharing, collaborating, and growing. So I challenge you to do one of those things. You don't have to do all of them. If you do all three, hey, A+, gold star, you're awesome. And again, thank you. I am loving sharing my stories, and hopefully this episode and all the other episodes are of value to you, because my number one goal is for you to find your voice, to grow your audience, and to nurture your existing audience, of course, and have the podcast of your dreams. So that being said, I can't wait to see you in the next episode. Make sure you hit me up on Instagram @poddex. Send me a DM. I'd love to chat with you, and I'll see you very soon.